Bam! What up, Yang Gang? Welcome back to the Low. It is tonight. We're live streaming on February 22nd. Today, we're going to be talking about our almighty Oath Keepers. They have been charged with a conspiracy for Capitol insurrection. Okay, so we're pulling this from Politico.com. They have a nice little article on it about 9 Oath Keepers charged with sweeping conspiracy for the role of the Capitol insurrection. And so 9 people are going to go to jail for a very, very, very long time. And it looks like they're extremist. It's an extremist militia that allegedly played a leading role in the January 6th assault on the Capitol, with conspiring to delay the certification of the presidential election. Leveling the most sweeping charges since the insurrection, the Justice Department accused the 9 militia members of coordinating efforts to storm Congress and noted that they openly discussed maintaining a cache of heavy weaponry just outside of D.C. limits. 3 of those named in the new indictment were arrested last month. 6 new defendants were arrested this week. Private text and audio messages show that multiple members of the group claimed to be acting on then-President Donald Trump's cues, interpreting his call for a wild protest on January 6th as an invitation to come stop the certification of Joe Biden's victory. So that just tells you everything you need to know. Yeah. It still frustrates me that Congress didn't call witnesses.
It is very frustrating. They definitely should have. And didn't we discuss this last time, or was that somebody else I was talking about it with, where what could they have possibly gotten out of it? We didn't see any results. We didn't see any give or take. We just saw them give up the witnesses and Trump walk.
Well, the thing was that they called witnesses. That means the Senate could call witnesses untethered forever and make this thing last like another year and a half, 2 years. So they're like, you know what? Let's just wrap it up. They're not going to convict them no matter how many witnesses we call. They're not going to convict them.
Yeah, that was
the hell with it. At least we got people on record voting yes or no, and that'll help us in the midterms. So that's I think that's the angle they took, which I don't disagree with, but right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah, and we should have seen some witnesses. If you're doing it for the record, that's something that should have been on the record.
But yeah, here back to the article. It says this is quoting Kelly Meggs. She's 52, a leader of Florida's Oath Keepers. Goodness. She said, Trump said it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild, and a bunch of caps, exclamation points. To be a true Trump sycophant, it should have been all caps, just saying. He wants us to make it wild. That's what he's saying. She did caps wild, so that's a good job. He called us to the Capitol, wants us to make it wild. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gentlemen, we are heading to D.C. Pack your shit. Yeah, it's
embarrassing.
It's crazy.
It's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. I would not be able to show my face again after that.
Well, and then they have people being quoted again. Pence has punked out the Virginia resident texted at 2:06 p.m., adding tear gassing peaceful protesters at Capitol steps, getting rowdy here.
So peaceful. It was such peaceful protesters.
And it says 18 minutes later, as the Capitol was being ransacked and lawmakers were fleeing for safety, Trump tweeted an attack on Pence that accused him of lacking the courage to overturn the election. Oh, my God. Yeah, so they've got 9 turds in a toilet bowl that need to be flushed.
3 of them had been previously named in previous weeks, like last month sometime.
Yep.
And then 6 of them were new to the charges, and some are still unnamed. So that means that they are planning on adding more to the charges, most likely, and that there are obviously going to be more people drawn in. The full extent of this is not over yet. So 9 people at the moment.
Right. And they're going to roll over like some yellow-bellied sapsuckers. They're going to roll over to save their own hide. And so I'm sure this is going to be a wide net.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We saw how quickly they were willing to give each other up already. It's going to happen. And they've made themselves easy targets, too, with the social media presence they created as well.
Well, and the biggest danger I see here is Congress trying to push for a new level of the Patriots Act. to attack the Patriots, quote unquote. Kind of a self-prophecy. But yeah, it makes me worry that they might come after more, trying to invade our privacy more. Because you can see here they've got phone calls, and they have copies of everyone's emails, and so social media is social. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it's
And
basically
they have moles everywhere. So, but when they have phone conversations, that's different. That's called wiretapping. So, I'm not too sure how the Patriot Act works when it comes to like public phone records. If they can go to Verizon and say, "Hey, give me Boyce Littlefield's entire whatever for this month," because he said he's going to kill A, B, or C, and I don't want to say it out loud. So it might get me banned on YouTube, But yeah, so that's my only pushback on this is how they've got these people is by enacting the Patriot Act. But yeah, I have a double-edged sword on this one, as far as privacy goes.
Yeah, well, we definitely have an issue with privacy in the US. So there's always an excuse, it seems like, to add a new rule that gives the government more power in those regards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am happy they found these people, and I'm happy they're going to
Yes.
find more of these people, though. So, like you said, double-edged sword.
Well, I think all the Oath Keepers were actually under investigation anyway for other types of militia things, for heavy arm weaponry, and they're on a list for buying like 100,000 rounds of 9mm shells and stuff like that. So, or maybe they're making their own bullets and they're ordering like 65 barrels of gunpowder. Who knows? There's many reasons to get on a watch list for stuff like that when it comes to firearms. But yeah, I'm not sure what I think about the outcome. Like what? Because if you think about this is truly treason, like actual treason, and they're trying to delay the vote, which is explicitly spelled out in the 14th Amendment. But the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to citizens. It applies to Congress people or publicly elected officials because of the Civil War, So I'm not sure. They're definitely going to get a whole lot of time. And I wonder what kind of fundraising they're going to make off of this for their legal fees. As you know, they're going to go to Gofundme and take that wall money.
Man,
and say, get them boys out.
I think of all the people who could use actual help with real problems, who are going to be skipped over for some person who betrayed our entire country to be able to live and sit pretty for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Because they did probably the worst thing that's happened to our country in a very long time. I can't even.
Yeah, a couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
Besides an assassination.
And people will support them and take care of them like they are precious little babies, while people are suffering and starving and waiting in food lines, and they tell them that they don't deserve that because they aren't working hard enough.
Yeah. They want to make them martyrs. I wonder what kind of flag they're going to make up for this shit, they're going to have one.
It's just going to be Trump's flag, like they were pulling in there.
That's true. And so I'm just really curious how much time they're going to get. So let's go back to the article. There's actually a couple things I want to point out too in here. It says the FBI and the Department of Justice officials indicated last month they anticipated leveling even more significant charges, including seditious conspiracy against some Capitol rioters. It says, indeed, back on January 26th, the prosecutor overseeing the hundreds of cases, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Michael Sherwin, said he expected such charges very soon. So here we are 3 weeks later. So I guess that's soon in the court system. So the new indictments against the Oath Keepers doesn't include a sedition charge, but the effort to charge 9 defendants in a single case still seems to be a single new phase of the investigation. Okay, here we go. And prosecutors have also charged numerous members of the Proud Boys, though they have not been linked in indictments issued for most members of the group. Yeah, it says, and other indictments have described individual rioters' links to militia groups and efforts to join them. Now, the thing is, the Proud Boys doesn't make sense because the leader of the Proud Boys was actually a narc.
Yeah, but the rest of them, they just come together under a different banner and go, oh, I can't believe we followed that traitor.
Do you think this will push them back into the shadows? All of them.
All of them? No. No. March 4th, they're planning something already. So, the ones who are really devoted to this, who have based their entire personalities upon it, they're not going to give up on it until it's like pulled from their teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I think we will see it start to deter new members, for example, and also pushing it to the darker corners of the web will kind of staunch them from getting random kids going down the rabbit hole into their ranks.
Mm-hmm. I want to know what you guys think about this, because I think there's going to be people who's going to get life without chance parole in the federal prison. They're going to die in prison, and they'll be gone forever. Yeah, so we'll see. And you guys, like Mia was saying a minute ago, hit that like button, subscribe, or ring the bell, and you get notifications on the Trickle Ups YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys later. Like always, Yang Gang.